Welcome everyone. So my name is Nancy. I'm Ayurveda lifestyle coach, therapist and yoga teacher. And I will share a little bit about Ayurveda. So just give you an intro that you understand what Ayurveda is and what an Ayurvedic lifestyle or principles are. And before we start, I would like to invite you into a little meditation, just to ground into the space, to open this Ayurvedic wisdom space, and just go a little bit over the tiredness and just connect into our energies. So feel welcome to ground your sitting bones into the cushion. Align your spine comfortably. Soften your shoulders. And close your eyes and connect to your breath. And just take a moment here, drop your mind into your heart. And let your breath naturally flow in and out. And then draw your body-mind awareness inwards for a short little self-discovery journey. Soften a bit more into your breath, into your cushion, to become aware you are present. And just observe yourself inwards. Let your body relax. And tap into that inner wisdom. An ancient inner wisdom which lives in all of you, in all of us. And I call that the holistic version of you within you. With thousands of years of knowledge, wisdom, and knowing. But unfortunately, we have forgotten about that. We might be disconnected. We might half asleep. Just for a moment, tap into that ancient wisdom. It's there. You just need to listen. And wisdom which knows what is good for you and what not. Breathe into it. And any wisdom needs knowledge and experience. Breathe into your heart. Open your heart for this ancient topic today. All the way coming in from India. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, Namaste hands. Bring a beautiful smile on your face, inside and outside. And bow down to the bright light within you, to this holistic version with your honor. Take a nice deep breath. Softly sigh it out. Soften yourself. Soften yourself into that inner knowing, into that inner wisdom, that ancient knowledge, your holistic version. Trust. Open your eyes. Welcome everyone. Let's talk Ayurveda. So what is that ancient knowledge? So a few of you already know about it. Ayurveda is the most oldest, holistic, sophisticated system in the world. It's a medicine, but it's a lifestyle. Ayurveda shows us a way of living. And it's a way of living healthy. It's a way of living happy. It's a way of living balanced with yourself and with the nature. So I have a few translations for Ayurveda, which you can read in the books, and some you cannot read in the books. So the word Ayurveda has two Sanskrit words. One is Ayu, which means life, and Veda means knowledge. Yeah? And actually, we have three important ancient classics in Ayurveda books. Yeah? We are studying. And actually, I needed to bring that today for you because I'm so excited I got it. So this is one Bible. And this is the Ashtanga Hridayam. Yeah? It's one of the classic books in Ayurveda to study. And one of the most comprehensive and easy to understand for us Western thinking people. Yeah? Because the other one is Charaka Samahita and Sushruta Samhita. Yeah? Charaka and Sushruta are the great teachers of Ayurveda. But this is very, very complicated because there's a lot of written in Sanskrit. So not easy for someone who can't read Sanskrit. But this book, I ordered it in Germany, is the essence of Ayurveda in a very simple way to understand. Yeah? And I actually want to read for you what is the purpose of Ayurveda written in this ancient text. Okay, and then we will talk about more. One who desires a long life in order to attain virtue, wealth, and happiness should very respectfully apply oneself to study, understand, implement, and advocate the teachings of Ayurveda. So that's the purpose, to stay healthy, happy, and wealthy. So as I said in the meditation, we have to study, but we also have to apply and to experience. No knowledge is without experience, and no experience is without knowledge. So we have to understand why we're doing things. And to understand this knowledge, we have to create awareness. Yeah? So Ayurveda is translated as life and knowledge. So it's the science of longevity, it's the science of living healthy, it's the science of living a long life. Yeah? So to study Ayurveda, we have to create awareness what is actually a healthy lifestyle and who are we? What is our constitution? Yeah? What is our dosha? Yeah? So it's the knowledge of life. This is what you find in the books. But a very better translation, I know, I'm not sure someone of you have studied a bit about Ayurveda, have heard that before, is the science of common sense. Yeah? And this is something you normally not really read in the books. And what does it mean? There's a lot of common sense in that practice. As I said, please see Ayurveda is a medical system. It's a natural medical system. If you want to be an Ayurvedic doctor, you have to also study 5 to 6 years as Western doctors as well. Yeah? But there's a lot in that, in living an Ayurvedic lifestyle and applying Ayurvedic principles into your life to prevent sickness is common sense. And I give you a very, very simple common sense understanding. Yeah? So let's bring it in with this example of the weather today. I think I did this in the other talk as well. So when the weather is changing, so especially today, it got more windy, it got colder, it got a bit more movement in the weather, yeah? So wind, rain, cold. So automatically, it's something doing with us. Yeah. So you might feel more tired. You feel the urge of wearing a sweater, which you usually might be not doing. Yeah. You might felt everything got a little bit more slow or a bit more spacey. Yeah. It might be not so easy for you anymore to ground. Yeah. So yesterday you felt very grounded. Today the weather changed. You might be a little bit more spacey or ungrounded. I'm not sure someone experienced that. Yeah. So we are influenced by a lot of things which either create balance or imbalance. And I call that influencer in my own language. So what actually are these influencer? As I said, it can be weather, it can be climate. Of course, it can be food we are taking in. Yeah? Suddenly food can change how we feel. Either we feel super energized, yeah? Or if we feel super tired, we feel bloated, we feel constipated, yeah? We feel spacey, we will brain fog. Yeah? I'm sure all of you have experienced one or the other. Yeah? What are other influencer except of food or anything? It could be music. It could be talks we're having. It could be other people. It could be a group of people. It could be an environment we are going in and suddenly changes how we feel. Yeah? I'm sure everyone has experienced that, coming in a room and feeling suddenly awkward. Yeah? It's an influencer. It's energetic, but it's also influencing our balance. And it's important, again, become aware of that. Yeah? If we have no clue what makes us feel good or not good, what makes us feel imbalanced and not imbalanced, how should we know what to apply to have a healthy lifestyle? Yeah? So first, to practice Ayurveda or to understand the principles and to apply the principles, we need to become and awaken our awareness. And that's why I said very often, unfortunately, maybe not you, but maybe many people are in a state of half sleeping. Yeah? We also call it the zombie mode. Yeah? Kind of there, you're functioning in your life, you're getting your life by, yeah? You're getting everything done, but there is something missing. And this is the spark of aliveness within you. And Ayurveda, or the practice of Ayurveda, or studying the Ayurvedic knowledge, wants to help us to bring more spark in our life, yeah, to bring more aliveness, so that you can live in your whole vibration and energy. And very often, what I hear from my clients is, "I wish I would have more energy." A lot of people struggling with low vibration or not feeling so vibrant or energetic, yeah? And because they're not aware of what suits them, yeah? They're not aware what to eat, what to do, what lifestyle to live, what to do in their life. And that creates kind of a heaviness or a zombie mode, yeah? You might in that state, you might not, you might be in that state and luckily out. I don't know. So Ayurveda invites us to study ourselves, to become more aware who we are in the language of Ayurveda, in the language of doshas, in the language of qualities, gunas, in the language of elements. To understand yourself will give you more clarity what to do or not to do in life. What is in alignment with yourself and what is not in alignment. Yeah? Studying yourself in totality under the aspect and knowing and knowledge of the doshas will help you to make more healthy choices in your life. So, but Ayurveda is not just a medical system to treat you when you are sick. Actually, the predominant task or aim in Ayurveda is prevention. So applying you or giving you all the tools you can apply in your life to live a healthy lifestyle which prevents you to fall sick. Yeah? But very often how it is, and we might have experienced it ourselves, because we are probably scared to have like certain news or becoming really serious sick and don't know how to handle it, that we actually wait until the disease often has developed. Yeah? And when we talk in Ayurveda about diseases, which we won't because we don't have the space for it, but there are 8 stages of disease. To just make you aware, there are actually a few stages of disease until you reach the stage of disease which is not reversible anymore. So there is enough space for you actually to react, but very often we don't. But then, of course, we also have the other side. Suddenly something happens to us, yeah, like a serious accident, and it brings us in a state of disease or uncomfortable state, which, you know, we could maybe not see before. But let's talk about just prevention. So Ayurveda is a practice of prevention. And that means Ayurveda is a practice of self-care. And this is really, really important to understand. Everything we do in Ayurveda, following a dinacharya, a morning routine, yoga is part of Ayurveda, they are sister science, is a self-care practice. Is a practice we're applying to our daily life, which prevents us to become sick and brings us closer towards ourselves, to tap deeper in this understanding who you are in your own unique totality. Yeah? And it's also very important, even we will talk about the doshas, and there might be only 3 body types and 5 elements, but anyway, we all are unique individuals. Yeah? Ayurveda said everyone is unique and has unique proportions of the doshas and the elements. Yeah? So what might works for me might not work for you. And this is very, very important to understand in the whole concept of maybe fasting or taking certain herbs or spices. Might one spice works for you? You are like a turmeric fan, needing your shots, but not for you because it burns you. Yeah? So we have to understand nothing works only for all of us. Yeah? We have to understand these elements and then the proportion of the elements and your actual state you are in or the imbalance you're facing. Yeah? It's very, very important. So it's the most oldest sophisticated holistic healing system in the world. It's a way of living. It's a way of living healthy and treating you with love. Yeah? To find a balance in all elements and in body, mind, and soul. So here comes also the connection with yoga. Yeah? As I said, Ayurveda and yoga are sister science. They're going hand in hand. There is no separation. And nothing is separation. And this is we have to understand when we speak about holistic. In holistic, we not separate. Yeah? We're not saying just this imbalance is only this one imbalance. This imbalance has to do with the whole cycle of your mind, your body, and your soul. Yeah? And very important in Ayurveda, and I said that before, it's a natural medical system. So everything what we practice and teach and apply in Ayurveda comes from nature. So the great rishis, who've been very smart guys actually, downloaded a lot of this knowledge and brought it into books, into existence. Yeah? And these smart guys have spent a lot of time in the nature and said, okay, let's observe what is nature doing and what are the laws in nature and how does the animals do in nature. And there needs to be a connection to us. Yeah? So everything what is taught in Ayurveda is observed from nature. And this is the great call for all of us to connect back to nature. Yeah? So our human inner clock, yeah, relates to this clock we should live, the Ayurvedic clock. Yeah? This chart can be downloaded later. And I would talk about the Ayurvedic clock more in detail, but just to make you understand, a simple example. So when the sun is coming up, for us it's around 6 o'clock. Yeah, for some other people in different time zone might be a little bit different time. So the sun is rising. What does it mean for us, for the human clock? We're rising as well. The most healthy way for you to sink into the nature clock or the circadian rhythm, which is the rhythm of day and night, the 24-hour rhythm, is to flow in sync and harmony with the nature. So the sun is rising. So it gives us, okay, let's rise, people. Let's get up. Let's wake up. Let's open your eyes. And in totality speaking, it's like slowly all our processes in the body, digestion, metabolism, everything was at rest, yeah, and rejuvenation process in the night, growth and repair, balancing things, slowly wakes up again. So we're coming from the inward back to the outward. Yeah? So it's like wake up, breathe, do, stimulate. Yeah? So this is when we're moving with the sun. And then we're coming to noontime, or it's like around 12 o'clock. It's usually the time when the sun sits the highest. And we know that around noon, doesn't matter where we are, is the hottest time of the day. Yeah? What speaks that to our inner clock? It's like when our digestive system is working the strongest. We call it Agni. Agni is the Sanskrit word for fire. Yeah? This is actually when Ayurveda teaches us to have the biggest meal of the day, because the sun is burning the strongest, it's the hottest. The relation to the body is that your digestive fire is the strongest around this time. So you are able to digest your heaviest and biggest meal of the day in a more healthy way. Yeah? And then we're going slowly down into the afternoon. That gives a little bit more moving time, and then we're settling down with the sun again, which is more earth quality. And settling down of the sun means also for you, settle down, finish and wrap up your day, calm down in a more relaxed state of your mind, slowing down movements, more contemplating time, more relaxing time, meditation time, more time maybe for yin yoga or something restorative, integrating the day, digesting the day, more loving qualities in your day, family, yeah? But also it gives slowly the information to the inner clock, okay, it's time to settle the day down. Yeah, it means also the digestion gets more slow. Everything becomes more slow as the nature slowly goes back to rest. And that's your sign for you as well, rest. Yeah? Do more gentle activities. So just in a nutshell, I explained this Ayurvedic clock and how we should naturally sink into the rhythm of the nature. And this is mostly where many people mess up with their inner clock or with their lifestyle, because they are so out of sync with this natural flow. And I know many of you will now say, okay, but what is with the people that have to do night shifts, or have to work late? Yes, very aware, but also be aware that people having that late night hours or night shifts, like nurses or doctors or whoever, they're kind of constantly living in an imbalance, but there are certain little practices they can do to keep kind of a balance. Yeah? But living out your whole life of the circadian rhythm and the natural clock will give rise to certain diseases. Just to create this awareness, it is like it is. We just need to be aware of and do little practices to keep the damage a bit softer. Yeah? Just to raise a bit awareness of that. It's suddenly not to do. Probably on one stage you have to come to the decision if you want to sink back more into balance, to might find a different purpose in your life. Yeah? It's the same. I give you one other example to give more clarity to that. Yeah? Is people, they're working as a flight attendant their whole life. It's like you're constantly going into the air. Yeah? So you're always aggravating your air element. Yeah? And also there are very different schedules when they fly. So often it's in the night and then they're in the air. So there's constantly a space of being ungrounded because you're constantly in the air. Yeah, and air is related to the ears. So most of the flight attendant I met have ear problems, feeling ungrounded, are bloated, yeah, being spacey, maybe headachy, having digestive problems. Yeah, and when I always share this, like some like, oh, okay, wow, that makes so much sense. Yeah, just giving a little bit more examples to understand that. Okay. So you see, Ayurveda gives us a great understanding and maybe different perspectives. We have never looked in or have seen it from that perspective, and I'm sure it will become even more clear when we talk about the elements and the doshas. So I just want to say a few words to why is it important to know, or what is the significance to know about your body constitution. So first, it's important to know of lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle really suits you? Yeah? What activities of movement? Yeah? For some, vinyasa yoga is the thing. That's perfect for them. For some, it's creating more imbalances. Yeah? Ashtanga yoga, not for everyone. Yeah? HIIT training, high intensity training, gym. Yes, good, but depends what dosha you are. Yeah, you have to understand that. And then also when we talk about movements or activities or sports themselves, we have to also understand what time of the day actually is that specific exercise program good for you and when not. And this is also easily explained according to the Ayurvedic clock, and knowing your dosha then becomes very detailed and interesting. Of course, for everyone, yeah, most of the people connect Ayurveda to diet or food. That's also important. Knowing what diet suits you. Yeah? Learning about the seasonal changes. Seasons are very important to understand in Ayurveda. Every season brings a different quality and brings the awareness of what we have to take care of. Yeah, in that specific season. Very often, I know in my life back in Germany, I have not paid much attention to the seasonal changes. Not much, really. Have no clue why I felt like this or this, and treat myself in a different way or change with awareness my eating habits. Very important in Ayurveda to prevent sickness. Yeah. So when we talk about preventing sickness, it's not just about implementing yoga in our life or some kriyas, yeah, or morning routines. It's also become aware again of the cycle of the nature. And cycle of the nature is, say, seasonal changes as well, because each season brings a challenge and a beauty, of course. Yeah, but we have to understand the challenge of each season, that we can adapt to it in a most wise way with awareness to prevent sickness, yeah, or prevent strong imbalances. Activities, lifestyle, diet. What else is important? Yeah, learning about your stamina and your strengths. Yeah, there are certain body types. They are naturally born with good strength and stamina, with a good build of bones. Yeah, so they have naturally more energy. And you might wonder why one person, wow, this person always can go on in gym or with the practice, and me just get so easily depleted. Yeah, this has to do with your dosha. And if you understand this, you don't have to be sad or frustrated or push and force yourself. You can just say, okay, for my type and constitution, this is the amount and intensity of training I can do. Everything over this will just deplete or exhaust me, will harm me. If you learn about this, life becomes so much more easy, really. Yeah? And then we don't have to struggle with all of this adrenal fatigue things and stuff like this. Adrenal fatigue, I'm very, very sure it's because we are not aware of your constitution, and on one part in your life you pushed it too far over the edges. Yeah, always pushing, believing you have to be as the others because you're not aware, knowing yourself good enough. Yeah? And then we're pushing us into certain chronic imbalances. Yeah? So of course, diet, lifestyle, that's why you should know about yourself, doing activities, also learning about your menstrual cycle. You will talk more about this later. It's important as well, and we need to give great importance to that as well, yeah, as women. So learning about your energy level, your strengths, and also knowing about your constitution gives you maybe more confirmation and clarity what kind of dharma to follow, what kind of purpose, what kind of mission, or let's bring it in normal terms, job you might want to do and good in, yeah? Or why you might never really get something done in the way you want to get done it. Yeah? All that falls into that understanding, and you will more get this aha moment when we talk about the doshas. So before we dive more into the elements and the doshas, I want to bring some awareness into the great pillars of Ayurveda and of health as well, which come hand in hand with knowing about your doshas. So we have certain pillars of health and well-being we need to bring into our life if we really want to live a healthy life. So the first pillar of life is movement. So bringing some movement into our life, which we talked already, activities, learning about the movement which suits you and your constitution and your current condition. Yeah? Also, please be aware, if we talk about all of this Ayurveda, it's very important for me to mention, Ayurveda is not extreme and Ayurveda is not dogmatic. And this hopefully already came into your awareness, which I'm saying in the beginning, there are a lot of influencer with changing our balance and imbalance. And we always in a natural wave of imbalance and balance. Please never expect yourself or work into that mindset of, oh, Ayurveda will help me to stay my whole life balanced. Forget it. That will not happen. You're always diving, and now I'm speaking in the language of Ayurvedic language, into a Sama and Nirama state. Sama is imbalance, Nirama. We have like Sama, Nirama, and balance. Sama is a very deep imbalance state. Nirama is a state where we're waving in. In the morning you felt different than in the afternoon. Yeah? So you changed your balance already from the morning to this. And that's natural. That's just natural. Nothing to get crazy or like worried about in any case, yeah? But also Ayurveda is a practice of understanding your balance and your imbalances, but from a state of love and acceptance, yeah? That this is natural, that this is happening. So sometimes I hear about, oh, it's very dogmatic and we have to follow so many rules and laws. And yes, in the beginning it might feel like this because you're not in the awareness. You are not connected. That's why you think you need the chart of your food list and your food anything, you know, and someone has to say exactly how you need to do it. If you tapping into awareness and become aware of your influencer and of the qualities of the element and your doshas, you don't need any piece of paper. And this is actually where you want to go to, sinking into that natural flow of nature, okay? And accepting that there are balance and imbalance. This is flow of life, yeah? Okay, so what did I say before, actually? I lost, that was super important for me, that not saying dogmatic. Okay, the pillars of life. So, movement. So, when we decide what movement is good for us, we need to check in with us also what and which condition we are today and which movement practices suits me today. Yeah? So, it's every day the vinyasa practice, it has to be every day the Ashtanga practice, but actually when I come out of my practice, I feel worse than I have been before. And that's a sign of, if you feel super tired after your practice, it's actually a sign that you have done a little bit too much. Yeah, you should feel good, you should feel energized, you should feel you have done something beneficial for your body. Yeah? Of course, another pillar of health and well-being is diet. Choosing the right diet for your constitution and condition, in whatever condition you are in. Being aware which body type or element is aggravated and needs some care and some love. Yeah? And then we have mindful practice. Yeah? And that can be meditation, of course, meditation, in whichever form meditation. I don't want to tell you that's only this way of meditation. Again, find out what suits you. Try different techniques, try different styles, but then come into an understanding which kind of meditation style suits you and your constitution, yeah, your dosha. So learning again, that will help you learn about yourself, will more help you to make the right decisions of practices you really feel aligned with. Yeah? And there are moments of, that's why I never really felt connected to it or got the full benefits. Now it makes sense. I love these moments, by the way. Okay, movement, diet, mindful practices, breathing, applying breathing into your life, pranayama. You're learning all about that, or being already aware. I don't have to dive deeper into it. And I want to bring one more pillar of health and well-being, and that is healthy emotions. Learning to deal with your emotion in a healthy way. So how do you digest your emotions? Yeah? And also that learning about your dosha and your constitution will give more clarity about your emotions too. There are some of the doshas that cannot handle stress or fear or anything outside stress very well. They're very easy tapping into anxiety or more dramatic reactions. Yeah, it might be part of you. Some people reacting with anger or frustration. Yeah, that's certain doshic types. Some people reacting more with possessiveness or attachment. Yeah. So, and in overall how you deal with your emotion and finding more and more healthy ways how you could look at your emotions, learn from your emotions, digest your emotions, and of course, how you express your emotions, yeah, in the most healthy way. So these are the pillars of health and well-being. And let's dive more into the elements. So first I want to talk, and I'm very sure you know already about the elements of the teaching from Lorraine, but let's go into them again. So I'm sure all of you are aware of the 5 Vedic elements, which are different to the Chinese. So that's ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. So that's the Sanskrit words for the elements. And each of these elements have qualities. And these qualities are essential to understand in Ayurveda, to understand your predominant elements, and of course the foundation of the doshas. Yeah? In Ayurveda, we also call Ayurveda the play of the gunas. And I'm not sure you had talked about already the gunas, but the gunas I mean here particular are not the 3 mental gunas, not sattva, rajas, and tamas. I'm talking about the 10 gunas and the opposite. So there are qualities, gunas are qualities. And this specific gunas I'm talking about, I give you an example, is like something is hot and the opposite of hot is cold. That are the qualities. So we have 10 qualities and we have the opposite. Yeah? Something can be oily and the opposite of oily is dry. Okay? So that are the qualities. And we have to study and learn these qualities to completely understand Ayurveda. Yeah? And this is the point where it got and begins to become a little bit tricky. And this means also we have to study what actually is the quality I'm surrounded with at the moment. What is the quality of food I'm taking in? Does it actually make me dry or oily? Is it actually cold or heating? Yeah? Because I'm drinking a tea, a herbal tea, doesn't mean it's warming because the water is warming. No, it's about the quality the herb has. Yeah? I always bring this example of mint tea. Yeah? So I'm drinking a warm mint tea, but again, it doesn't have warming or heating qualities. The mint actually is cooling. So even the water is hot, but the quality of the herb is cooling. And this is important. This I need to know and be aware of and study. Yeah? So study, have knowledge, and then you experience what's happening in your body. Okay? So these qualities are very important, and these qualities we can see in the 5 elements. So let's start. I give you some examples, and I make it like comprehensive as we don't have so much time. So ether, what we are connecting with ether. I just chuck in some qualities and words. Yeah? So their ether is space. Ether is consciousness. Ether is vastness, everything out there. Ether is formless. There is no form in the space. Yeah? That's vastless, it's open. Ether is clear. We can connect ether to thoughts, to the mind, yeah? To the spirit, to energy. Yeah? It's out there. Thoughts are energy. Ether is subtle. Ether is light. Ether is cold. So all these qualities are actually set in the last part. They're very important. Light, clear, subtle, cold. The element of air. It's quite similar to ether, but air has the function or the task or the ability to move things. Yeah? If air comes in, like we experienced today with the weather, it's wind. And wind is moving things. Wind is doing that movement. Yeah? So wind brings things forward. Wind has the ability to move the leaves. Movement has the ability, everything we're taking in through the 5 senses, to move it. Either to move it in the system, to move it to your mind, yeah? To move it down. If you take food in, food needs to move downward. Yeah? It needs to move down into the stomach and going through all the digestive processes to finally move out again in form of the waste products. Yeah? So air is moving things. Breath is moving. Yeah? Air is prana, is life force. If there's nothing moves anymore, outside or inside, then it's done. Yeah? So air also has the qualities, important here again, write them down. Light, clear, cold, one of the most important, dry. Wind is dry. Movement is dry. Yeah? Air is dry. Air has drying qualities. If there is too much air in the system, in the body, things becoming dry. And that we can experience through constipation. If I want to give you a simple common sense outside example, is like put your laundry out, hopefully no rain, just the wind. So laundry dries very quickly. Yeah? But if we have too much air in the body, might be nerves becoming too dry. Yeah? Becoming brain fog, or things, energy can't move, yeah? Or the waste can't move. Again, that's when we get constipation. It's a sign of dryness. Too much air in the body might be bloating, farting, burping, getting air out, yeah? So all that is connected to the air element. I hope that makes sense. Good. Fire, element of fire. It's probably something we connect a little bit more to. We have the fire in front of us. So fire is transformation. Yeah? things we're taking in, moving down, and if it's down there in the right parts of the body, we need to transform that food. We cannot put the food through the body the same way we took it in, right? It needs to be transformed. It needs to be burned. This is the quality what the fire does. Fire burns things. Yeah? Fire digests things. Fire transforms things from one matter into the other. Yeah? Taking different shape. Fire also gives us energy. Yeah? There is a passion in fire. There is an energy. Transformation is passion and energy. But most important quality, of course, of the fire is heat. Hot, burning. There is an intensity. Imagine yourself from the outside standing in front of a fire. Yeah? It's hot, it's intense, there is a sharpness. Yeah? And that also, people that have a lot of fire in their constitution, they're intense. They're spreading. Yeah? Spreading in the sense of they're very energetic. And if they want to do something, they do. They spread it. Yeah? So that's connected to fire as well. But fire, from the qualities, also it's oily and light. And fire can be also dry. So all of that qualities sit in fire. Agni, very important. Also our connection to the sun. The sun is fire. So Jala, the water element. What is the water doing for us? What are the qualities we experience with the water element? So water is obviously wet. Yeah? It's fluid. It's liquid. Water can be soft, smooth, and light, but also heavy to the same time. I like to bring the example of jumping into the ocean. Yeah, we get a refresh, cool. It can be super light. The water on the body, on the skin, very nice and light, refreshing. But on the other side, thinking about water, carrying water like a bucket or floods, there's a power. Yeah, there is a heaviness. Yeah, water can give life and nourishment, but also can destroy to the same time. But very important to think also there's a nourishment, but also water purifies. Yeah? That's what we're using water in ceremonies and things. That's why we're drinking water. That's why we're using water a lot in health treatments to flush things out. So water can be light and heavy, smooth, oily, cold. If there is no sun, no fire, no Agni to warm up the water in generally, the quality is cold. Very important to understand. And it's cleansing. Prithvi, the earth element. Rounding. Slow, becoming slower, slowing things down. Earth is calming. It's a solidness, a stable. Earth is also cold. Again, if there is no heat to warm up the soil or the earth is cold. But also what gives us the earth? It's like something nurturing. Earth gives new life. Yeah? When we're putting the roots or planting the seed, we need to give water. And then there's also a cohesion happening, and then new life comes. Yeah? Earth gives us this warm hug of feeling safe. There is a safety in earth. Yeah? So I think that gave you already a good understanding how we can look at and understand the elements. Yeah? And for me, it's always important to start with the elements, because the elements building the first foundation, the first ground to understand the doshas. Yeah? And the doshas are the 3 body types of Ayurveda. But actually the word dosha is Sanskrit and means there is something interrupted. There is something out of balance. Yeah? And in the more Western translated books, we have doshas as body type, body constitution, as your personal, unique blueprint. Yeah? It's your genetic blueprint. That's are the doshas. And before we dive into the doshas and learning more about the doshas, and you getting excited to reflect on yourself, what dosha I am, and things like that, always, very, very, very important for me to say, you are all of the 3 doshas. Yeah? You are all of the 3 doshas. The doshas are Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And you are Vata, Pitta, Kapha, you are Vata, Pitta, Kapha, you are Vata, Pitta, Kapha, you are Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Everyone is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, include me. Okay? Super, super, super important to understand, because we're saying the 5 elements exist within us and around us. The macrocosm in the microcosm. As it is outside there, is within us. So, and it can't be that you only air and fire. Yeah? You are all of the elements. All of us are all of the elements. And that's why we are all of the doshas. Why I'm saying this very profoundly, because very often we start, I'm only Vata. Yes, it means in the right language, you are predominant Vata or have more of the Vata qualities. Yeah? But actually you're made out of all the doshas, because otherwise you would not exist in the way you're existing here. Okay. So let's dive. But what is the understanding of it? That when we are finding out what is our predominant dosha, we are talking about the proportion you have. Yeah? You might be more predominant of a Vata type of person with a little bit of Pitta and lesser Kapha. Or other way around, you're much more Kapha with a spark of Pitta and a little lesser spark of Vata. Yeah? So, and then we're learning to understand, okay, I'm more of these elements, this I'm driven off, and I need to bring a bit more of the lacking or missing elements into my life. That's more of a language we need to speak and to understand. Yeah? So what are the doshas showing us? First, all of that, what I said, why it's important to know about your dosha. But it also, as a practitioner, helps us to understand what disease or imbalance we're dealing with and what treatment we have to apply. Yeah? If we speaking in terms of diseases, it's like we have 80 Vata diseases, we have 40 Pitta diseases and 20 Kapha diseases. And they all have certain elements, of course, and influences of the others. But we have to understand if it's a Vata disease, it's a Pitta disease or Kapha disease, to know how to treat this disease and bring you back into balance. And there's a rule, it's always the most, the most you struggle with, or the most dangerous or like out of balance disease, we have to treat first. Yeah? So if there is an inflammation in the body and it causes you pain, we have to treat the pain first. Yeah? And then we're going, like always what we want in treating, to bring you back in your most natural state, in your birth combination, yeah, in your birth proportion, yeah. So, and your birth constitution is called prakriti. That's your birth constitution. Whatever happens, we want to get you back there, and this is where your best self in. Yeah, this should be your inner aim of your practices and whatever you do in life, knowing when am I in my best state, when I'm striving, when I feel good, when I'm grounded, when I feel balanced, when I can do the things I want to do. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, many of us might be not knowing what the state actually is, because there is a developed imbalance or frequency, we call it frequency, current imbalance, for a long time already. And that can maybe even already happened in early childhood through a traumatic experience. And through that experience you developed kind of an imbalance, or your response to that was actually living not in your birth constitution, starting to live in your imbalance. And that's why you develop chronic diseases. That's can be. So diving and understanding the doshas, the constitutions. As I said, we have 3, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So it can be that people are very predominantly Vata, but very often we are a mix of 2. Yeah? Very rarely, but it's also happened, is that all of the doshas are balanced equal. Yeah? That's that jackpot. Jackpot in life. But most of the time we have a mixed dosha. So we talked about the elements. Now let's bring the qualities of the elements into the understanding of the doshas. So Vata dosha. Vata dosha holds the qualities of ether and air. Again, I'm wisely not using the language of Vata is the element, is the holding the qualities of ether and air. So what does it mean? We said, these elements are light, they are cold, dry, clear. There's also a roughness towards that, because wind can be rough. So how could we describe or imagine a Vata-dominated person? So this person, it's usually quite light. Yeah? They might be quite tall, can be small as well, but light. Again, there's this air element, and air represents lightness. So usually their build, their skeleton, it's quite light. Yeah, the bones are lighter. So there's a difference of some people have very heavy bones and some have very light bones. Yeah? So they might be more thinner hair. Yeah? More dryness in the body, like dry hair, dry nails, dry skin, just to speaking about the outside. The nose is a little bit more, like how you called it, more, pointing, exactly. The nose is more pointing, more edges in the body. Edges in the sense of more bones sticking out, because they're very light, they're very thin. Maybe lesser breast for the women, So everything is much more flat, for example. And the word irregularity comes in for a description of a Vata person. Can be irregularity in the physical appearance, maybe irregular teeth, maybe irregular shape of the body. But irregularity also in the things they are doing. They don't like routine. Vata is always floating around, more in the air. Like my picture I give often about a Vata person is the Vata person sits in the air on the clouds, the feet hanging down, swinging in the air, and they're just being creative, like visionaries of the future. Like you see that popping up of ideas. Yes, we can do this. Yes, I can do this. Project here. Many projects. So Vata in their spacey mind are very creative people. They're visionaries. They're very much looking into future or planning into future. If I have that in the future, then I might be happy. Something like this, a little bit in this direction. But they're very indecisive. They're very jumpy from here to there. They're very good to come into a space like this and get very familiar. So they're very adaptable to change. For them to come, oh, that makes sense. They're getting things very easily. But then on the other side, they're going out, 50% is gone. So they're very floaty. They're usually quite talkative. They're introvert and extrovert. They can be out and about and connecting. But then, because Vata is quickly depleted and exhausted, because their energy level is very low. Their stamina, their strength is very low, because they're very light. They're like a feather in the wind. So a feather doesn't have much energy. Makes sense, right? So Vatas have to be very, very content and be careful and aware of where they're giving their energy. So they can be easily depleted to go out in a space and get influenced from a lot of energies. And then suddenly they feel awkward and they have to withdraw. They have to go in. They need to go to their personal petrol station and recharge. Yeah? So, and floatiness and ungroundedness needs grounding, yeah? Needs solidness. Yeah? That's important. So that gives you an idea of a Vata person. Also, Vata people have a lot of creativity, which is amazing. But also on the other side, they struggle easily and much easily than the other doshas with anxiety, with worrying, with thinking, overthinking. Yeah? This monkey mind is always active. Tornadoes of thoughts and activities in the mind. Even they're going into that inward space, like more introvert, they will always say, I'm always thinking. My mind is always on. I'm always thinking. Yeah? Also, insomnia is quite present in Vata people or in an aggravated Vata state. Yeah? Also, to understand, even you might notice in this talk what kind of body type you can be. For all of us, there is a tendency to get an aggravated state. You might be more Pitta, but might be easily falling into a Vata aggravation. Yeah? Which is quite common because we are all much more working in this part of the body, more mind work, and we have a lot of stimulation, especially from, I don't have it, but like our phones and, influences of media and news and everything. So that's stimulating. And Vata gets easily stimulated. And then we're slipping into that spacey space where we feel like, wow, maybe probably even after watching that or, learning a whole day, you kind of feel like, oh my God, I'm exhausted, like mentally exhausted because there's so much information coming in. You're so stimulated or overstimulated that you even feel you can't digest that anymore. Yeah? So, also, especially for women, I want to mention that women that have a Vata aggravated state or a chronic Vata disease or having more a Vata predominant dosha, they mostly suffer from irregular menstruations or absence of menstruation or painful menstruation. That's very much related to an imbalance in Vata dosha. So, there's more to add, but let's bring it to Pitta. The Pitta constitution holds the qualities of fire and water. So in this fire and water is easily explained in a humid country like Thailand. Here is hot and humid, yeah. So it's typical Pitta weather. So Pitta people, or the Pitta, the main part of Pitta is transformation. As I said, the fire element transforms things, brings energy. So when we look at the physical appearance of a Pitta dosha or Pitta predominant person, we might find them in their appearance more moderate. Yeah? They're not too tall, not too small. They have like a more of a muscle appearance. So Pittas easily build muscles. Compared to Vata, they're very light. They don't really put weight on easily. Vata easily loses weight, but don't put weight on. So if you want to go in the gym and get this perfect bodybuilder figure, as a Vata, it will be very difficult for you. As a Pitta, super easy. You might have naturally already built a body which looks a little bit more muscular. Yeah. So everything, the word of a Pitta description of a person, of an outside appearance, is more moderate. Yeah, moderation. There's actually also the word Pitta needs to balance, by the way. More moderation in their life. So what is a Pitta person like? We describe it in Ayurveda as the CEOs and leaders. Yeah? Through that fire element, Pitta has intense appearance, and the tense appearance of they're usually good communicator, they are good speakers, they're good presenters. It's easily for them to share knowledge or to bring something into the world in a larger scale or a bigger picture. Yeah. Pittas like to do things. So everything what Vata has created on their clouds, it's actually the Pitta needs to bring it into action. Yeah? Pittas are doers. Yeah? Pittas are action takers. Pittas are solution oriented. The Vata might hanging a little bit more in the drama of the indecisiveness. So if there is something to do and it's a bit out of line or an obstacle comes in the way, so might be the Vata is like, okay, shaking around, not to do, not no, let's wait, let's ask them. And the Pitta is like, no, let's sit. This is what options we have. Let's do this. This is the solution. We have to go ahead. So Pitta is just, let's take this way. Let's make a decision. Yeah. So Pittas can, if they are overburning themselves, can fall into struggling with anger. They are not naturally angry. If you have studied Ayurveda before, there's always that relation of Pittas are angry people. That's not true. In their balanced state, Pitta is not angry. They're actually very easygoing people, but if they have too much heat and they're overheating, yeah, then they have a tendency to express themselves with anger, frustration, criticism, or jealousy. Yeah? This is when there is too much heat, when they're burning. And that happens if you do too much. Yeah? Pitta is so eager. They always want to reach the highest goal and climbing up the ladder more. We want the wealth, we want the success, that they're on this way forget to look after themselves, and that's when they come into a state of burnout. So Pitta predominant people are more prone to burn out, to bring themselves to exhaustion. And then, of course, if you exhaust your Pitta, you deplete your Vata. It comes in the same. Yeah? But the Pitta has a bit more strength and stamina than the Vata has. Yeah? The edge of depletion in Vata is so much lower. Yeah? So this taking or digesting stress in a good way is so limited to a predominant Vata person. Yeah, Pitta has a little bit more, and then you will learn about Kapha is the most stress resistance type. So yes, so this is about Pitta. And I mentioned that already, Pitta is transformation. So the main seat of the Pitta is actually the middle part of the body, is the digestive system. Yeah? Everything what is related to digestion, it's Pitta. But of course, not only, because Pitta cannot function alone in the body, Pitta needs Vata. So of course, Vata is part of the digestion as well, because Vata has to move the things. Yeah? But the main seat of the Vata is the colon. Yeah? And that's why very often we treat, or most of the time when we have a Vata imbalance, we need to treat the colon. We need always to treat the main seat of the disease. Yeah? For Pitta would be the stomach or the digestive system. Yeah? But Pitta can be also show up on the skin. Any kind of inflammatory diseases is related to Pitta. Yeah? If it's, for example, a skin disease with dryness, then we're looking into Vata. Yeah? Also, because I have mentioned that in the beginning, Vata sits in the ears. So any problem or main problem in the ears, it's air, it's Vata. Yeah? For the eyes, we need to look into Pitta. You need some fire in your eyes to see have a clear vision, to see clearly. Yeah? So people that are getting problems with their eyes quite early, there is probably a Pitta disease, Pitta imbalance. Yeah? Can be genetic, but genetic is very little. Yeah? So, yes, so this is the main seats of the Pitta dosha. And when we have too much Pitta, we need to balance with either Vata, yeah? So we need to bring maybe more movement in there, yeah, if something is overheated, or we need to bring coolness in there. Yeah, so we need the water element from the next dosha, from the kapha. Yeah, if something is cooking, overheating, we need to cool it down. Yeah, either we as a person need to jump in the ocean, we need to take a shower, we need maybe to drink or consume more cooling things. Yeah, maybe a mint tea, maybe a fresh coconut, maybe eating something with coriander, something which is internally cooling you down and has cooling properties. So, kapha dosha. Kapha holds the qualities of the water and the earth. Remember what we said about water and earth. It's fluid, it's cold, it's calming, it's grounding, it's nurturing, it's cleansing. It's oily, it's smooth. It's sluggish. This is what we didn't say before. So, a kapha appearance is more rounded. Yeah? So if you want to bring it into a body shape, they might be a little bit more heavy. Yeah? They have a bit more weight. So they're more rounded. They don't have these edges or sticking out of bones. Yeah? They're in any shape more rounded. That can be in the face. They have maybe a more rounded face, a bigger head. Maybe the nose is more rounded. Yeah, more bigger eyes. Things like that. The bones are more heavy. So that means also kapha has more or the strongest stamina or strength. Yeah. They have actually the ability to go the longest, whatever they do. Yeah. If they go, they can go long. But sometimes they don't want to go because they have this calmness and slowness within them. They have really thick hair. Yeah? Remember, vata is very thin, light. Now we have the heaviness of the earth. Yeah? So they have maybe very thick curly hair, for example, or men have very thick hair. Yeah? Also long dark hair. Pitta, for example, by the way, gets easily an early gray. So if you experience graying hairs or see this in someone, it's often a sign of a pitta. Yeah? Very common in pitta. So yes, that's the appearance. But saying and giving these body shapes, I usually sometimes don't like, because then we look at people and say, yes, she's very thin, so she must be a vata. Yeah? But she can be also a kapha. So it not always means that people that have a bit more weight or they are overweight or obese, that they're automatically kapha dosha. Yeah. So again, we have to make more investigation, because we might not know about this person. Maybe this person is usually your shape, like super thin, but through an imbalance or disease, this person had to take medication which actually put them on 10 kilo, or something in their life shifted into a chronic disease, and through this chronic disease, this person has put on a lot of weight. But this is not their natural state. Yeah, that's why we have to be very careful to only judge of body shapes, yeah, or figures. So it's very important. But in a nutshell, saying kaphas have more the tendency to be rounded. Even they might be slim or have a normal figure, they might be more round. Yeah? Not so many edges or veins sticking out. And also through this water element, kapha has the tendency of more water retention, of holding more water in the body. Yeah, it's something more natural. And also if you are more of a kapha dosha or body type, they put easily more on weight. Yeah, and for them it's not so easy to lose weight. Again, vata, they have difficulties to put weight on, but easily lose weight. Pitta is fluctuating, losing and putting. Yeah. And the kapha more struggles with losing weight, but easily put weight. Yeah? Just a little bit as a guideline. So how I describe, to give you a picture of a kapha person, for me is always the black mama in the kitchen, because black mamas, they have that nurturing ability within them, yeah, to hold space for a big family. yeah, and they have this groove and that love they're giving out, yeah, because kaphas are more in giving out a lot. They are nurturing others. They are in service. They love charity. Yeah, and if you have that picture of this black mama cooking a huge pot of food to feed everyone, yeah, to be in service of others, and just giving everyone comes in from the family, giving them a hug, you know, being very groovy, being very connected, holding the space, and nurturing everyone. So I love this picture of describing a kapha. I don't know if you feel aligned with this or resonate, but I like to give that picture. But through that nurturing quality they have, yeah, and giving a lot out, kapha sometimes lacking to give back to themselves and looking after themselves. So this is when kapha becomes out of balance. So they're taking a lot in from other people, yeah. So also emotions or like stories and things are happening in other people's life, but they are sometimes not well to digest. And kapha has a sluggish digestion. And when I talk about digestion or acne, as I said before, it's very, very important to understand we're not only digesting food. We need to digest everything what comes in through the 5 senses. Yeah? So classes, speaking things we're listening to, conversations, everything needs to be digested. Yeah? Even when we are in a conversation with friends or partners, yeah, and there is a circumstance bubbling up. These emotions we are facing from the partner or from the person we are dealing with, and our own emotions coming up with this has to be digested. Yeah. So also this is part of agni or our digestive system to digest this. And for kapha, sometimes they don't have a good balance to digest these things. Yeah, and they're becoming too slow. Yeah, like couch potatoes. So, and they're becoming a bit attached. Yeah, so vatas, as I told you, they can easily adapt to changes. Kapha is the complete opposite. They don't like change. Yeah, I want to keep my circle of friends, family, and my partner for a long time, and please don't change anything in that. And if change comes in, that brings kapha out of balance. Yeah. So this needs to be aware of. So kapha don't deal good with changes. And it takes them a lot to adapt to new things. So if you want to bring a kapha into a new lifestyle or bringing them into a new type of sport or whatever, it's kind of, you have to stimulate them. And kapha needs stimulation. Very important. To balance a kapha, you need to stimulate. Yeah. So when we watch into the Ayurvedic clock, especially in the morning, yeah, we need stimulation. This is when we're bringing in all of these great practices into the morning, because we want to stimulate, not just for a kapha person or kapha type, in general. Yeah, we want to stimulate this water and earth energy in the morning. That's why we want to get up early. That's why we want to cleanse the body. That's why we want to, with the cleansing practices we do in the morning, like scraping the tongue, oil pulling, gargling, and cleaning all pathways we have, like ears, nose, and throat and everything, eliminating, emptying the body out, is all to stimulate. Yeah, to stimulate the digestion, to stimulate the mind, to open up, yeah, to ease and stimulate into the day, for example. Yeah, this is the kapha energy. And with kapha also there's a tendency of possessiveness, the holding on things. Yeah, and kapha is more living in the past. So make sure be aware if you stepped on a predominant kapha type of person feet, that's not so easy, they will forgive you. It sticks with them their whole life. Yeah? They're not easy in forgiveness, but that's just as a side note. Yeah? So Vata lives more in the future. This is the visionaries creating the future in their pictures. The Pitta is a bit more kind of on the ground, more in the present moment. And the Kapha is grounded, but can become too grounded. Yeah? If there's too much earth, then it's like it becomes heavy, it becomes sluggish. Yeah, but if it's a healthy earth, this is what all of us need more. Yeah, this is what we need to bring in if your vata is too much stimulated or aggravated. This is what we need to bring in if If the pitta is on fire, the pitta needs cooling and it needs earth, come down on the ground, but it needs also ease, lightness, movement. Don't get stuck in your deadlines and everything. So that is, in a very, very short way, explained what is Ayurveda and the principles of Ayurveda. We talked about a little bit of the understanding of Ayurveda, and we talked about the elements, and we talked about the doshas. They're building the foundation. If we go and dive deeper into Ayurveda, we will talk about sub-doshas. Every dosha has 4 sub-doshas. They're giving us more clarity about certain root causes of diseases. And in Ayurveda, we always want to treat the root cause. We don't want to cover or suppress anything. That's why we stay away from chemical drugs. Only in case of emergency, we're bringing in chemical Western medicine. If it's still not in an emergent state of disease, we are using natural medicine of herbal medicine. So it might take a little bit longer, but the aim of Ayurveda to bring you back into your prakriti or best state or best healthy state of body, mind and soul is to do long-lasting treatments. Not just here's the pill and that's it. We cover the pain, but we don't go actually to the pain underneath which created the disease. And I want to say one very, very important sentence to bring that into your awareness. If you want to make a change in your life, first you have to change your software before you change your hardware. First you have to change here. The mindset has to change. And the understanding of the root cause. Very often we want to heal a disease, but we don't want to heal the root cause. I bring one example. Colitis. So it's an inflammation of the intestine. So I have a particular client who struggles from that. Yes, you might want to take a medicine for that. But what is the root cause of colitis? Just on a very, very broad explain, it's a lot of stress. So one of the root cause in colitis is stress. But if you want to take a medicine of that you calm the inflammation, but you keep your lifestyle exactly as you live, which always flares up the colitis. So what's the point of it? So you're not actually changing anything in the root cause. So you need to be aware if you want to change something to think about what actually brought you where you are with what you struggle with. I hope that makes sense. Okay? And to complete everything under the aspect of the Ayurvedic clock, just to bring that into your awareness as you now learn the qualities of each element and what is kind of significant in each dosha, it might be interesting for you at least to write down the Ayurvedic clock times. So from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., you are in Kapha time. So predominant earth and water qualities. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you are in Pitta time. This is when Agni is high, when the sun is high, when you want to get the most things done in your work or any activities which need a little bit more of energy. You want to have your biggest meal in this time of the day. And then from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. you are in Vata. That's maybe when you create new ideas, completing the to-do list for the next day. Maybe there's more movement practices, or generally you're feeling a bit more ants in the pants. Want to move things. And then from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. we're coming back into Kapha time, when we should slow down again. I told you, settling down of the sun, settling down of the system, settling down of the activities, eating more light digestible food, not the biggest meal. This is what many people make a mistake as well. We call that a mistake of intelligence. So be aware that your digestive system is slowing down, everything is slowing down, as you can observe in the nature. So you don't want to have your biggest meal, and might be even meat if you're a meat eater, and a big portion in the evening. So that creates indigestion, that creates insomnia, that creates weight gain, to just mention a few things. And then from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., you're coming back into Pitta, but this is not the Pitta time to be active and transform and do. Like many people come into that time, yes, that's the time where I can work the best, this is the time where I can study the best. No, this is the time where you transform internally. This is the time where you go into deep sleep. This is the time where you balance your hormones, where you rejuvenate, where you take rest to growth and repair processes in the body. Yeah? Please don't mistake that. If you are someone working more in the night, this is something, it can work in a certain time when you have deadlines or to do something, but generally if you work your whole life on it, just be aware you trained yourself to be there. It's not naturally. Yeah? And then from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. we are in Vata time, and that is considered the best time to be awake for meditation. That's the time where we can really transcend into the ether. Yeah? So this is time for kriyas, this is time for prayers, for mantras, for cleansing processes. Yeah? So this is giving you an idea of the Ayurvedic clock. And I think that we can complete here. Yeah? I just want to see one more sentence before I close and give maybe a few minutes of questions. Is an Ayurvedic lifestyle is important that there is joy. You enjoy it, yeah? So it's not like, oh my God, that's so much to follow. And yes, it might feel a lot because it's new. And it's a completely different thinking and perspectives, yeah? But as we become more and more natural and always connected back to the nature, it should bring joy. Living a healthy lifestyle should be enjoyable, not a burden, not heaviness, not a heavy package, not an effort. Maybe in the beginning there is, of course, an effort and a commitment needed, but after this, when you apply the knowledge you learned and you experience, then you should feel joy because you feel like, wow, I'm feeling so much better. Wow, I'm healing. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's a treatment. I enjoy that self-care practice. Yeah. And with this said, thank you very much.